Hi, this is Jason Andera back for another week to hand out the 𝗕𝗹𝗹 Orthopedics game ball. And I didn't know exactly which way to go this week. Do I go with a Wolverine who won the game on a 2-point conversion? Do I go to a linebacker from Lincoln who had a dominant performance leading his team to victory? Maybe a power pair of runners for the Malinks, or even a Cardinal who did it all over the field, rushing, receiving, and on defense? Well, in the end, I decided to go with a titanic performance from North Border. Isaac Sumption finally gets the game ball week after week of being on the top performer list. We're going to get into greater detail on Isaac's big day, but let's get started with our top performer list. Brendan Begeman literally carried the Wolverines to an overtime win against Timber Lake last Saturday. He ran for 3 touchdowns and caught another. And oh, by the way, also picked off a pass. But his game-winning second effort, 2-point conversion, that's what lit it up for the Wolverines. Josh Burride keeps making high schoolers look like grade schoolers. The Bobcat back ran for 185 tough yards and 3 scores as his team stayed unbeaten with a comeback win against Madison. Carter Hoffman led Dual back into battle and took apart the Cyclones. He ran for 4 touchdowns, caught another one, and forced a fumble that he recovered and ran back for a scoop and score. One of the best performances on a football field this year for Carter Hoffman. Jack Hughes was repping the defensive players. He and the Patriots defense dominated. They went for 10 sacks as a team, and he got credit for a 4th of them. He was in on 14 tackles as Lincoln turned in a great defensive performance to beat O'Gorman last Friday. Tate Johnson and Joe Colbeck were both hard to stop for Brandon Valley. Johnson put up 186 yards on the ground with 4 touchdowns, while his quarterback, Joe Colbeck, added 165 on the ground with 2 scores, plus he threw a touchdown. Kobe Kaiser of Bridgewater Emory Ethan. I have said or spelled his name wrong almost every week of the year, but we're not going to get his name wrong anymore after the performance he had against McCook Central Montrose. He led the charge on offense with 19 carries for 242 yards and 3 touchdowns. Plus, he led the defensive attack with a pick 6 to help seal the game early on. Connor Libis makes a return to the list with 170 yards and 3 touchdowns rushing. Plus, he caught a touchdown and picked one off on defense. Great all-around performance in their win against Avon. Mason Nation was out in full force. Kobe Mason, 17 tackles against Mitchell, and they held Parker Phillips to a season low in rushing the ball. Mason also scored a 4th quarter touchdown that helped Del Rapids beat the Colonels. Kelby Vanderwerf of Platte-Geddes was near perfect passing the ball. He cashed in for 2 touchdowns through the air, but he also caught a touchdown, and he ran one in as Platte-Geddes stays unbeaten with a big win against Kimball White Lake. Colt Wilkinson of DeSmet took care of business with a 5-touchdown day, 3 rushing and 2 passing as the Bulldogs got past Esteline Hendricks with no problem. All those performances were great, but this week's game ball goes to Isaac Sumption of North Border. We're going to send this to you in the mail because you put up another 300-yard performance on the ground while passing it up and down the field. You've been on this top performer list almost every week, but this week you got the W against a really tough competitor in Falkton. You went up and down on offense, you got a pick on defense. Isaac, keep on balling and keep on winning.